If you enjoy the podcast, make sure to share with your friends. Check out the website. There are some deals for climbing gear from the Mountain Hardware shop and deals on training for climbing from the ClimbingPill training app. Also, you can join the Patreon for $5 a month. That will help a lot to keep producing more quality content here and in other platforms. And of course, I will thank you forever. In the near future, you will also have exclusive content for Patreons only. Also, I want to thank everyone for the really nice feedbacks. I heard some people going to new destinations because of the podcast, which is freaking amazing. So yeah, thanks for the feedbacks. It's really awesome to get that and keep them coming. Don't hesitate to reach out. I love talking to people in general, and I love talking to people about climbing destinations. So yeah, go for it. And also, there are some other collaborations that are, about to happen. I don't want to say anything yet until they are confirmed, but some really exciting stuff. So stay tuned and make sure to follow the Instagram is the main place where I share new stuff. So for today's episode, we have a special one, as it's our 10th episode already, which is exciting and awesome. So why this is such a cool and special episode? Firstly, it's thanks to our guest, Alita Contreras. She's such an inspirational person. She's a pro climber, works as a translator, and I've known about her for a while. I heard her podcast, her episode on the Nugget Climbing podcast a while back, and to host her here on the podcast was amazing, really. Secondly, my goal when starting this podcast was to learn about climbing areas around the world and make them more accessible to the climbing community. And this one really hit the spot because I literally knew almost nothing about where we're doing the episode, which is climbing in Colombia. And it turns out that Colombia has some amazing and world-class climbing. Like, you should see some of the videos, you will, and photos, and it will blow your mind. Another reason is that I reached out to Alita exactly at the perfect moment, as a film that she has been working on for the last few years is finally about to be released. So really great timing on that. So this one was a bit different, as we didn't get too deep about a specific climbing area like we normally do, but more kind of a broad explanation about what climbing is like in Colombia, the rock type, most famous area, and all of that. The other part we touched was super interesting, I thought, how she got into doing the movie, Guerreras it's called, the idea behind it, and lots of interesting things around the movie. We all consume, I consume a lot of climbing content and movies, and it's super interesting to hear how this stuff is happening. She will tell it better, but essentially it's about few inspiring stories of Latin female climbers, and at the same time every chapter in the movie will be also about a different area, happening in a different area in Colombia. So I'm excited to see that and to learn more about the climbing in Colombia. Alita shares a bit, not too much, about her chapter in the movie, and that sounds very powerful. So I hope you're gonna enjoy this one. It's our 10th episode of the Climbing Destinations podcast, which is freaking awesome. We had a bit of an echo issue on this one. I had some trouble editing it out, so I'm sorry about that. I hope you find it not too bad. I think it came out alright. So as always, all the show notes will be on the website. We talked about Alita's GoFundMe for the movie, so you will find it on the website and on the Instagram. Make sure to check that. And I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on the other side. Ciao for now. Hello, Alita. Welcome.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good. What time is it in France? right now?
Now it's 7 p.m. in France, still completely daylight, which is nice.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but freezing. It was like 4 days ago, 30 degrees in Fontainebleau, 30 degrees, like climbing with no shirt and really hot. And now it's
Okay.
under 10. It's like crazy.
Do you
Where
normally climb in Font?
no, it's the first time ever. I was super excited. It was
Oh,
nice.
cool. I was in Fontainebleau like 10 years ago because I was living in Germany. So I climbed a lot in France while I was studying in Germany.
And did you like Font?
I did, but like being honest, I am more a sport climber than a
Yeah,
boulderer. So it was good. It was very fun, but I normally prefer to go sport climbing.
yeah, same, same.
But I think
I
place that you have where you have to go. Like
yeah,
if you're in
exactly.
France, you have to go there.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel the same. I'm also much more into sport climbing, but it's like, yeah, cool. And where are you now? You're in Colombia.
Yeah, I am. I live in Bogota, the capital of Colombia, and that's where I am right now. Yeah.
Nice. And it's 12.
Yeah, exactly. It's midday
Nice.
here.
Midday. Cool. And the weather?
Well, we don't really have seasons in Colombia because we are very close to the Ecuador. So Bogota, like we have more or less the same temperatures during the whole year. And Bogota, it's like fall temperatures the whole time. So it's perfect for climbing.
Nice. Cool. So what is it about? What temperature is it?
Well, right now, I think right now it's like about 18 degrees, but in the morning it is colder. Yeah, sometimes when it's very sunny, it's like 20 something. But yeah, it's good for climbing. It's never too hot or never
Wow.
too cold.
Yeah, amazing for climbing. Year
Yeah.
round like
There
that.
are just
That's
climbing areas around the city.
yeah, I want to hear about that. So we have a special episode. I feel like because yeah, I reached out and you were kind enough to show up to come, and I think I found you in a really good timing with the movie you're working on. So yeah, I think we're gonna like dive deep into the movie, which sounds super interesting, and yeah, climbing about Colombia, climbing in Colombia, and yeah, I'm excited. So before we do that, can we just get a bit about yourself? Um, yeah, you're big on Instagram, so I follow you and I see stuff here that you do. And the episode you had also with the Nugget was really nice with Steven. But yeah, if you can share a bit about yourself and before we start.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I am actually, my name is Alejandra. Alita is like a nickname, it's something like little Alejandra or something. That's the way how I've been called since I was a little girl. And that's how everyone calls me right now. I am actually from Venezuela. I was born in Venezuela, but my father is Colombian. And so I have the two citizenships, and I decided to move to Colombia 10 years ago. So now I live in Bogota. And I decided to move to Bogota because of because if you're a climber, that's the best place to live in Colombia because it's surrounded by a lot of climbing areas. And as I said, it's always like fall temperatures, so you can climb the whole year. So it's that's very nice. I am graduated in languages. I am a translator and I translate mainly from German into Spanish and from English into Spanish. I also speak French, but I never worked with French. And what else? I've been climbing for 16 years already, and I am also a climbing coach. I work mainly with women. I also coach boys, but the thing is that here in Latin America, the female climbing community, it's still very small compared to other countries. So I thought that maybe creating groups only for females would like motivate the girls to get into climbing, right? So I love like having these training groups for girls and also like organizing different events for to try to promote female climbing. And that's what I do. And what else? I have a little dog. I always have to mention her because she's the love of
Yeah.
my life. You can see her in my Instagram account. Um, what else? Yeah, I said I am a translator. I am lucky that the last 5 years I've been translating only books about training for climbing, which is really good for me because I am also a coach. So I can practice my languages and my skills as a translator, and at the same time, I can get all that knowledge from different coaches around the world. I've been translating mainly for Udo Neumann, the German coach, but also for older people like John Kettle from the UK or Ned Finhally. I don't know if I'm spelling his
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Yeah, I translated
Net Finley, yeah.
I
Mhm.
translated Peacemaker from English to Spanish, for
Mhm.
example. And yeah, so that's very nice that I can combine my two passions, which are languages and climbing, and work with that. And also, I love dancing. I dance salsa in a dancing academy, and that's like my other passion, and that's what I do.
Nice. That's awesome. Um, that's really cool. I'm totally passionate about languages as well,
Nice.
but
Well,
never got to work. Sorry,
how many languages do you speak?
I speak three in a pretty good level. So Hebrew, English, and Spanish. Spanish quite well. It's not,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I have. I want to get few more, hopefully.
Well, if you're living in Barcelona, you're gonna get there, and you're also gonna
Yes,
speak.
exactly. Nice. So I had no idea that Bogota is like the place to be for climbers. Can you compare it to Barcelona
Oh no,
in
there's
no?
nothing like that in the world.
Okay.
When I was living in Germany, I used to. I went to Germany because German was like the main language of my studies at the university. So I decided to go to Germany to learn German, and also I studied something like German as a foreign language, if that's what you study, if you want to teach German or translate from German. And I had the opportunity to go to climb in many different places in Europe. Like I went to France many times because I have a very good friend who lives in the south of France. But I also went to Catalonia many times because I have very good friends from Venezuela who are living there. So yeah, like Catalonia is the best place to be, I think, if you are a sport climber. So I completely understand that that's where you're living now.
Yeah.
But what I think is like Bogota is the best place to live if you are a climber and you live in Colombia, right?
Okay.
But there is a lot of potential here in the country in general. But the thing is that our currency is quite cheap compared to dollars. And you know, when you have to bolt the route, like all the equipment that you buy comes from the US. So it's like it's very expensive to bolt routes here, right? But yeah, there are many places where like with a lot of potential.
Yeah. I I heard about Suezca. That's the one I know, and it looks great. It looks like, is it sandstone
It looks
or
like what?
sandstone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and yeah, it looks really nice. And but that's pretty much what I know about climbing in Colombia, which is crazy.
Yeah, Suezca is like where sport climbing was born in Colombia. It's like the classic place to go. Suezca is pretty nice because you have sport climbing there, but also like a lot of trad and multi pitches. So yeah, it's like very complete. Like if you're a track climber, you can go to Suezca. If you're a sport climbing, you can go to Suezca. But yeah, there are other places around the city which are more focused on sport climbing. And I would say that Suezca is um, the place to go if you're focused on track, right? If
Okay.
you're more focused on sport climbing, people prefer to go to other places around the city.
Is it close to the city, Suezca?
It's like 80 minutes away from the city, more or less.
Ah, that's
It's
good.
not that far, yeah. But there are other places that are like closer to the city, like 40 or 30 minutes away.
So the best climbing in Colombia is next to the city, you think?
The
Or
what?
there are the best climbing in Colombia is next to the city, or there are like other areas that are good as well?
Different climbing areas around Bogota. There are some places that are like 30 minutes away from Bogota, but there are others that are like 2 hours away from the city. But yeah, the city is surrounded by different areas. But the most popular sport climbing place in Colombia is actually not close to Bogota. It's in another state. It's like 10 hours away from Bogota. The name of it is La Mojarra. I
Ah,
think
yes.
Suecia and Navarra are
Yes,
the popular climbing places in Colombia. But the thing is that La Mojarra is only one place and you have around like 400 routes, which is a lot,
it's a lot.
but it's only one place, right? In Bogota, if you live in Bogota, you have like 8 different climbing areas and only Suezca has more than 500 routes. So yeah, everyone loves La Mojarra, including me. But for example, I lived there during the pandemic, and then at the end, I was like a little bit bored of climbing in the same place. But if, as I said, if you live in Bogota, you can go to a different place every weekend.
So can you describe really the like both styles of these both areas, like the famous ones, like that, just that people have an idea like of a.
Yeah, well, as I said, Suezca is more focused on like track climbing, and it's very adventurous because, like, since it was the first place, since it was the place where sport climbing was born in Colombia, like you can find a lot of runouts in the sport climbing routes, right?
Yeah.
And it's yeah, it's more like old school style. And La Mojarra is the opposite. La Mojarra, like the bowls are very close to each other, is a very good place to go if you want to learn how to sport climb because you have like routes from I don't know 5, 7. Well, I don't know what would it be in the French scale, but very easy, and up to like 514D, which is 9A.
Yeah.
So you have like a lot of options. You can go there if you're a beginner or if you are like a pro climber, and it's just very beautiful. Like Suezca is also close to Bogota, so it's a little bit colder, and La Mojarra is a bit warmer, but it's not like you cannot climb there, but it's warmer. The view and the landscape is just very, very beautiful. Like La Mojarra is, I think if you are a sport climber and you come to Colombia, that's the place where you have to go. And also it's like very convenient because you have like a hostel just next to the entrance to the climbing area. So you only walk like 5 minutes to be at to get to the crag, and there are like different hostels around the climbing area.
Oh,
So it's
amazing.
yeah, it's pretty convenient.
Wow. And what's the rock type?
It's also sandstone.
Ah, it's sandstone as well.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So all the videos I see of you in Instagram, not all, but many are that looks like limestone. So it's from different country, or
Oh yeah, I've climbed in Mexico a lot. I really
okay.
love going to Mexico for climbing, and yeah, most of those. pictures are from El Salto, which is in North Mexico, in the north of Mexico, and that's limestone. Yeah. So I have a lot of
Okay.
pictures from Mexico in
Yeah.
my Instagram
Yeah.
account.
Okay.
Well, I've been talking about Suezca and about La Mojarra, but actually my favorite climbing place here in Colombia is also close to Bogota. Well, it's like 2 hours away from Bogota, and the name of it is Macheta, and it's very, very nice. It's like you have a lot. It's like overhanging walls and very, very steep walls, and yeah, it's really beautiful. I love overhanging walls, so that's my favorite type of climbing. So I really love going there. Actually, the last 3 years, that's the place where I climb the most, and it has like around 250 routes more or less, and there are like it's a very, very long wall, so there are still like there is a lot of potential where you can build more and more routes.
Wow. Macheta.
Uh-huh.
Wow. That sounds really good. And
It's
as
really
well, is this sandstone as well? So all
yeah.
of Colombia is sandstone actually.
Yeah, not everything, but mostly, yeah.
Interesting. And so, like, can you paint a picture for us of the of the rock? Like, is it orange, friction, like style of holds? How is it?
Well, in Macheta, it's like yeah, the crack is orange, the rock is orange, and the friction is very, very good. And like since it is very overhanging, like it's more about it's very physical, but it's more about endurance
Mm,
than like most of the routes are endurance routes instead of like bouldery routes. And the holes are quite good. It's not like very crimpy, but you have like very good jogs, like in very steep walls, and you have to climb a lot. And that's like my favorite style of climbing.
wow. Yeah, that sounds super fun. It reminds me a bit. I didn't see it, or maybe I did, but your description reminds me of the Blue Mountains in Australia. And
Okay, I've been there.
it's it's like it's huge. You have like loads of sectors, but yeah, like steep sandstone, orange, super strong rock, and really good friction, and yeah, like
Nice.
really fun climbing. Nice. So that's really cool. So if I would go to Colombia or someone goes to Colombia for climbing, what would you suggest as a yeah as a tour? Like I land in Bogota, what would you?
Yeah, well, I always give like two suggestions. Like if you only want to be in one place and you don't want to move like going to different places, like the best thing to do would be like to arrive to Bogota and take another plane to a city named Bucaramanga. That's the closest city to La Mojarra, right? So because as I said, like La Mojarra is pretty convenient because the hostels are very close to the climbing area, and you have like almost 500 routes in the same place, and the weather is just perfect, the view is perfect, the landscape, the hostels are also very, very nice. So if you don't have a car and you just want to stay in the same place, I would say just go to La Mojarra and stay there. But if you want to go to different places, I think the best thing to do would be to come to Bogota, and maybe I would suggest to go to Suezca because Suezca is kind of a middle point to the older climbing areas. So if you stay in Suezca, then it's easier to get to the other climbing places. Like it would be your base. You could climb in Suezca, but also from there, it's closer than from Bogota to go to the other climbing areas, to go to Macheta or also to Sutatalsa, which is more famous for bouldering. Or there are like different places that are like 40 minutes away from Suezca. But if you stay in Bogota, then it would be like 1 hour or 2 hours every time to get to the climbing places. And also Suezca is known as the town of the climbers here. So you're gonna find a lot of climbers, like local climbers there. If you come alone, if you don't come with friends, you're always gonna find someone to climb with in Suezca. And also from the town to the crag, you only walk like 10 minutes, so you don't have to have a car.
Wow, that's really cool. It's like, yeah, I really literally heard Suezca and La Muja before a bit, and now it's like a whole new climbing destination worth going for. Like it's crazy. And you mentioned just in like 2 words that there is also a bouldering area.
Yeah, there are also bouldering places close to the city, to Bogota. There is actually one bouldering place that is like in the south of the city. You don't even have to go out of the city.
Wow.
But Bogota is huge, so
Yeah, Bogota
it's
is huge. Yeah, yeah. Like how big is Colombia, and yeah, population wise, and
population is about 42 or 43 million people.
yeah, it's huge.
For yeah, something
And
like that.
and and then like the size of the country, how big
I
is
don't
it?
know that.
No, like driving around, it's huge, or
Like driving around.
yeah, from I don't know,
Yeah,
one, yeah,
it's a big country. It is, well, compared to the European countries.
yeah,
Like you can
okay,
go from the north to the south of Germany in 11 hours or something.
exactly.
But in Colombia, it's like it can take you days to go
Okay,
from.
yeah, yeah, okay. So you need to know like where you go if you want to go specifically to, yeah, to climb in La Mojara, for example. So
Yeah, if you go to La Mojarra, if you drive to La Mojarra, it would take you around 10 hours from Bogota.
nice, cool. And your favorite at the moment is Macheta. This is
Yeah,
your favorite crag, and this is really, yeah, closer to the city. And
it's
then
like
yeah, and you, let's say, yeah, do you have any other ones close to the city that you like?
yeah. I lately I've been climbing more in a place named Choachi, which is like 30 or 40 minutes away from the city. So it's pretty convenient because it's the closest one. And you have four, like Choachi is a small town that it's like 1 hour and a half away from Bogota. And on the road to Choachi, there are four different climbing areas, which one of them is like 30 minutes away from the city, the other one like 35 minutes. Like you have to drive to all of them. Well, or you can take a bus, which is like very cool here in Colombia because you can get everywhere by bus. It's not like in the United States that you have to have a
Oh,
car.
wow, that's awesome.
So if you're gonna go to Chachi or to Suezca or to Macheta, you can just go by bus. You don't have to have a
Wow.
car. So Chuachi is the one where I am climbing the most right now. And well, the different climbing areas going to Chuachi, which are very, very close to each other. And they are like smaller crags. As I said, they are four, but in one of the crags, you have like 60 routes, and in another one, you have 30 routes, and in another one, you have like 70 routes. Like they are smaller, yeah, areas, but still you have a lot to do. And it's these places are like at more than 3,000 meters high,
Oh,
so
wow.
it's cold.
Wow.
But
And it
the
would
friction
affect,
is the best friction.
yeah. But does it affect the breathing already at this height?
Well, not me because I mean Bogota is like 2,600 meters high, so we are kind of used to this height. But someone who comes from I don't know. Well, I was living in the United States last year. I was living there for 1 year and a half, and I was living in Atlanta. So when I came back to Bogota, it was kind of hard for me to breathe. And the first
Huh.
times that I went to climb Chuachi, for example, but then you get used. But and Chuachi is maybe the most beautiful climbing area. Is just so beautiful, like the whole view and the nature. And the crag is more like vertical walls. long vertical walls. So that's pretty cool. As I said, like here close to Bogota, you have like Macheta, which is like overhanging walls, and then you have Trochi, which is like vertical climbing, and then you have Sutatalsa, which is more like bouldering or short routes. Then you have Suezca, where you have trad climbing and also multi pitches and sport climbing. And in Suezca, the sport climbing is more short and bouldery. So you have different styles.
Super cool. Really
Yeah,
cool.
it's
And how is the community and like the who develops it, the climbing now and all of that?
well, I would say that like around 70% of the climbing community lives in Bogota or close to Bogota, because as I said, it's like where you have more places to go climbing. And as I did, many people move here or in small towns close to Bogota because we have more access to different climbing places. So yeah, Bogota is like where you have also like the best climbing gyms or boulder gyms. So yeah, like this is like the center of climbing in the country.
And then you have how is the climbing tourism these days?
Well, you mean like if we have a lot of international climbers? Well, as you know, there are still many people who think that that Colombia is like a very dangerous country. So there are still many people who don't come to Colombia, but and also there are many people who don't even know that there is climbing in Colombia. When I was living in the United States, many people didn't even know that you could climb in Colombia. Every time that I told them like, oh, I come from Colombia, and they were like, but where did you start climbing? And I was like, well, actually, I started climbing in Venezuela, but you can also climb in Colombia and in Venezuela, right? So, yeah, that's the reason why, as I was telling you the other day, a friend of mine and I decided to do this film about female climbing in Colombia because we want to give visibility to the Latin American climbing community, but also we want to show another perspective from Colombia to the international climbing community and show the world that there is climbing in Colombia, that there is very high quality climbing, that there is like a very strong and amazing climbing community, and that you have a lot of climbing areas with a lot of potential where you can come and climb. So yeah, that's like the objective of this movie.
Awesome. So it's a perfect segue. So let's go into that. So tell me, yeah, tell me more about the movie.
Yeah, well, as I said, like the idea of the movie came from my friend Elisa Barlota. She's a girl who was born in the United States, but her mother comes from Costa Rica. So she's half Latina. And she came to Colombia a couple of years ago because she got like a scholarship, and she stayed here for 6 months. And this experience of coming to Colombia and climbing in the Latin American climbing community for the first time was like very significant for her. So when she went back to the United States, she decided that she wanted to do a project to help the Latin American climbing community to grow. And then she reached out to me and she told me like, I want to do a climbing film about uh, 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 about female climbers from Colombia. Would you want to be in the movie? And I said, yeah, I would like to be in your movie. And then like, I don't know, like a couple of weeks later, she told me like, oh, I don't know if I can really do this. It's a lot of work. I have to find the filmmakers. I have to find all the money. Because this program, I mean, this project is being like sponsored by Scarpa. It was born like this idea of her doing a project was born in a program that Scarpa has in the United States to make climbing more inclusive. So she applied for that and she became an ambassador for that program, and then she decided to do the movie. And then she told me, no, I cannot do this. It's a lot of work. And then I told her, like, you know what? Let's do this together. I want to be in your field, but I also want you to help. Want to help you to make it happen. And since from that moment, we started working together on making this movie a reality. And it's been a lot of work. We had to find the filmmakers, which are very nice guys. They are European, living in Colombia, and they are in love with the country. So we thought that the love that these guys feel for the country would be reflected on the movie. And then, yeah, we started all working together, and then we talked to older girls. We were gonna have 7 girls in the film, and yeah, it's like about the story of what it means to be a Latina climber, a Latina female climber, right? Like, and how climbing helped these girls to overcome like different hard time, like the hardest times of their lives through climbing. So that's what the movie is about, like how climbing helped us to overcome those moments. And yeah, as I said, we what we did is that we filmed each of these girls like in a different climbing place of the country. So you're gonna get to see the story of the girls, but also like different climbing places because each of them
Wow.
is gonna be filmed in one different place.
Wow.
So you're gonna get to see like a lot of about the country too, and about the climbing areas.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah,
How long?
very nice. It's been a lot of work, especially because the movie is gonna cost about $52,000, and it's been my friend Elisa and I raising the money for the movie. We have got some sponsors on board, like the movie is sponsored by Scarpa, by Petzel, by Rab, by the Nugget Climbing Podcast, and we have like a GoFundMe account, and we've been doing like different events to raise money, and we are doing it very well. I would say we have raised so far about $36,000, which is like a lot of money, but we still
A
have to
lot.
raise a lot more. We're working
Wow.
on
Wow. Nice. Good luck. Everything will be uh, connected here in the show notes, of course. We will add
it.
the yeah. How long have you been working on it already?
We started working on it on August of 2022, so like more than 1 year and a half. We filmed everything 1 year ago. We were filming for about 5 months with the filmmakers, like around the country, and then they started the editing process. And the movie is about to be ready. I think in a couple of weeks we're gonna have like the final version of the movie. Actually, a couple of days ago, they sent us what should be the final version. But after that, they're going to work a little bit more on the color and everything. But this is the last version in terms of the content because we've been working on that. I think this is the fourth version that they sent us. And every time they send us a version, then we give them like a feedback. And then yeah, they work on that. But the last one was already super, super good. And they only had to change like a couple of details. And now they're just gonna start working on the color and other like small things. Well, not small things, but I think we already have the content as we wanted. And yeah, it's gonna be ready pretty soon.
Wow.
They've been doing an amazing work. It's just us who have to raise more money. So we're still looking for
Yeah.
sponsors for doing events.
Yeah. Yeah, but you will. You will. I don't doubt it. Yeah. So tell me about yeah, like some of the I don't know, the nice things or the challenges like how you so you both started, you and Alize, right?
Mhm.
And then so from the idea, like how did you go? Like tell me about that.
I've had the opportunity to meet, like, well, I am a sponsor climber, which gives me the opportunity to have contact with different brands. So, like, when we started, we were like, okay, we have to look for the money, we have to pay these guys. And thank God I had like some doors already open from different brands, but also like a lot of contacts. For example, Steve from the Nugget Climbing, he had already interviewed me, and we were like, I think I have 3 episodes on the Nugget, so we are still already very close. We are good friends. And then when I told him about the project, and I said like, oh, could we please do an episode about the movie so that we can start promoting it? After we finished the episode, he told me like, I love this project so much that I want to be a sponsor. So he was actually the first sponsor that we
Wow.
found for the, and also having Steve on board was very important because he had also a lot of contacts. So he was like, I'm going to help you to promote it, but I'm also going to put you in contact with other brands. For example, Rhino Skin Solutions are also sponsoring the movie, and it is because Steve put us in contact with them. And through Steve, they started supporting us, right? But also, like, having the promoting the film on the Nugget was very good for us. Like that week when the movie was on, the episode of the movie was on the Nugget, we got like $2,000 in donation to our GoFundMe.
Seriously?
See, yeah,
Wow.
but like the other thing is that I have had the opportunity to meet like famous climbers around the world. Like I am a friend of Daila Ojeda, I am a friend of Paul Robinson, and they've been like ambassadors of the movie. So every time that we posted a story about, I don't know, the teaser of the movie or the poster of the movie, they were like um, also reposting it on their Instagrams, and more people got to know about it. So we've received a lot of help. You know, it's been like mainly Elisa and me raising the money and everything and organizing everything. But we have had many hands like helping us, right? Like, yeah, different people from different places telling us, like, I don't have money, but I could help you with this. I can make the poster for the film. I can help you editing this. You know, so it's been hard, but we've been lucky that we've also found many people who believe in the project. So we've received a lot of help.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. And then what I wanted to ask, I forgot for a second. My thought. But no, wait. What did I want? I had something specific, but I forgot. So I will go to a different one. So the storyline, it's about 7 girls.
Yeah. And like how these girls, as I said, like overcome different hard episodes from their lives through climbing. How climbing has empowered us to overcome these different challenges. So it's like the power of climbing, but also it touches like some topics like, I don't know, how there's still a lot of sexism in climbing in Latin America, and how it is hard for us like to try to be, I don't know, good climbers in a world that it's still telling us that we are the weak sex, you know, the weak gender or things like that. So it also shows a little bit of that.
Yeah, very empowering and important. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I remembered what I wanted before. Do you do you have a goal for like where to show it? And
Well, what we really want to do, as I said, the main goal of this film is to give visibility to the Latin American climbing community and to show another perspective from Colombia. So what we would like to do is just to have it for free for everyone, to put it like on YouTube so that everyone could watch it. That would be the best. That's what we want. But if in a couple of months we haven't raised the whole money that we have to raise to pay the filmmakers, I think when we have it ready, we're gonna put it on a platform so that people pay something to watch it, and we could raise the money that we have to. So yeah, but we've also been invited to show it like in different climbing festivals in the United States. We are not sure yet of what we're gonna do with the movie or where we want to show it. I think it depends on if we raise the money or not. As I said, if we raised it in this next 2 months, then yeah, we would like just to put it on YouTube, or I don't know, like to show it in climbing festivals for free, right? But we have to wait and see what how it goes. Yeah, with the money. But yeah, last
Yeah.
year I was living in the United States, and I was invited to give like different workshops about training for climbing in different climbing festivals. And in these festivals, you always have like a movie night. So they gave me the opportunity to show the trailer of the movie. So it
Mm.
also helped us a lot because when I was in this festival showing the trailer, after that, people donated in the GoFundMe to support the project. So I think that there are already many people from different countries and places that know about Guerreras, about the movie, and are waiting for it. And we are super excited. We are super happy now that we made it happen, right? Because it's been, as I said, it's been a lot of work, and it's been the two of us, like talking to different brands, having meetings, like sending emails, like, contacting people, working for it. Like when I was living in the United States, I was giving workshops about training for climbing, but the money that I earned from those workshops, I put it for the film,
In the
right?
movie.
Like I donated it to the film. And my friend Elisa, who lives in Pittsburgh, she's also been doing like different events in different climbing gyms to raise money for the movie. So yeah, we
Yeah.
are very happy that it's happening. That's it's almost ready.
It's crazy because I love climbing movies. I love climbing content, and it's crazy that you are like you go, you watch YouTube and you see this really nice movie or whatever, and you're like, okay, next you look at the next one or something, but you don't realize how much work there is
How much work there is.
behind.
Yeah, and that's also the other thing, like there are so many climbing movies out there, but you see European climbers or climbers
Yes.
in the United States. If you get to see a climbing movie made in Latin America, you see, I don't know, Adam Ondra going to Chile to climb the hardest route, and that's everything you see in the movie. But you don't get to see like the community or the local climbers, right? So you don't really have a movie about Latin American climbers. So we thought that there is a lack of representation of this community in the climbing movies, and we wanted to change that in through this movie.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. And I had an episode earlier, a couple of episodes back with the guy Juan Luis, that he pretty much started the climbing in Jamaica,
Okay.
and the same, he managed to get a movie sponsored by a guy, forgot his name now, but what happened is that they wanted to bring a sponsored athlete and to do the movie about the sponsored athlete climbing in Jamaica amazing routes. And the guy was like, wait, but this doesn't make any sense. Like, let's
Oh,
show, the locals, let's show what's happening here. And that's what they did. So yeah, it's like what you're saying.
nice.
Yeah, really nice. So the girls, you are one of them in the yeah. So can you share like what is your part there or the story, or is it too much? Or like
Yeah. Let's say that my story is more about how a route that I was able to send a couple of years ago, which is like the hardest route that I have ever sent. How this route like was my main motivation in life when I was going through the hardest lifetime, the hardest period of my life. Like my dog was in hospital, she was very sick. My dad has had like a depression disorder, and my grandfather had cancer. So everything,
Well,
many bad things were going on in my life at that moment, and I was very depressed. And I found that route like randomly because a friend of mine was trying it, and I was very like I didn't have any motivation in life in that moment. I didn't want to climb, I didn't want to work anything, and I found that route, and that was like the inspiration in my life, and then that was like the motivation to keep going, and that's what my story is about, more or less, in the movie. Yeah,
in short, yeah. Where is that? Where is the route?
it was the route is in Macheta.
In Macheta. Nice. And what's the name?
Ferrari.
Ferrari. And
Yeah.
the grade?
That's a very interesting question now because it was, how do you say that, downgraded a couple of days
Hmm.
ago.
No, a couple of days
That's,
ago.
that's very interesting because it was supposed to be a 514A, which is 8B plus.
Yeah.
Um, so sending that route made me, or was supposed to make me the first female Colombian female woman, Colombian female climber, I'm sorry, Colombian woman to climb 514A. But there is a guy who sent it like 3 days ago, and he said that for him it was more like a 513D.
Yeah, but I mean,
The thing is that the route has been sent only by 6 people. So
okay.
like 4 guys, me and this older guy who sent it like a couple of days ago. So it's kind of a new route. It's a route that has not been sent by many people. So it's very possible that it's like that other people don't agree with the grade. Um, so yeah, it's very interesting because now we have to we don't know what we're going to do with the movie, right? Because that's what's going to be like my story was going to be around like sending this route that represented like so much for me because of this what I was living in that moment, but also it was like sending my first 514A and becoming the first female climber in Colombia to send 514A, and now it's like maybe it's not a 514A, so that's so I think what we're gonna do in the movie is like that we're gonna put like Ferrari 513D slash 514A because some people say it's 14A, some people say it's 13. Well, this guy says 13D. So it's also everyone's opinion is important, and even
Yeah.
more if there are so few people who have sent it, right? Maybe if it were like 100 people have sent it and say 514A and he says 513B, maybe everyone would say like, no, you're not right. But it's only, 7 people, 6 people who have done the route in total. And one of them says like 13D, then the opinion matters more.
Yeah, I agree. It's not like yet super established.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
But
and also like if the other guys, the guys who sent it before me, they have climbed 514A, but I haven't. This is the route that I hadn't before that one. So it's by far the hardest thing that I have sent. There is no 13D that I've done in the past that has taken me so long as
yeah.
this one. So when I did it and I knew that everyone before me said 14A, for me it was like, yeah, it must be 14A because it's harder than all the 13Ds that I have done. But I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it
But
it
it's
makes
fun, like,
sense.
like when that happened a couple of days ago, everyone was asking me like, "Oh my God, how are you feeling? You know, he's saying this and that." And of course, it made me happen. It made me happy to do my first 514A, but this route was so much more for me than my first 514A. You know, like the story that there is behind sending the route and how it really like brought me back to life in that moment when I was like completely like in a very dark place. That's what matters for me. So if it is like 14A or 13D or whatever, if it is 14A, great. If it is 13D, like, okay, another 13D, that's good. But I mean, it's way more than that. It's more about like the challenge that it represented for me when I was like physically not in a very good shape because I was not training very much. Um, and also emotionally and mentally I was not in my best shape, which is I think the most important when you are trying to send something that is hard. So like
Definitely.
overcoming like my mental issues and emotional issues and be able to send the hardest thing that I have ever sent. That's what matters for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I want to see it. And how did you do with the like the photo shoot? Like, did you have videos from back then, or when did you send it?
No, it's that's not the real send. I sent it like in May of 2022, and we filmed it in 2023.
Yeah.
So they filmed me repeating the route, but that was not like the original send.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow. And like, share. Can you share a bit about the route itself? Like, what? How
Yeah,
it's
of
like?
course. It's more like an endurance route, like like you like the hardest boulder problem that you find in the route is like B7. There is nothing harder than that. But the problem is that you have a B7 and without the rest, then you have a B6 and then you have a B5. So like the hardest, like the challenging part is like try to link all these three boulder sections without like a real rest in between. So the first half of the route is like a 12C, which ends like with a very good rest. And after that, you have the B7, B6, and B5, which ends with a very nice dyno in a very overhanging wall.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so yeah, it's very nice. It's a very beautiful route, and it's not like a real route, so to speak, because it's like um, it is a traverse that connects like 9 different routes from a climbing area. So it's not like a direct line, but it's like a traverse from one route to another one, and you in between you have 8 more routes. So
Oh,
it
wow.
connects like different the different cruxes of each of the routes that you are going through.
Wow. And how long?
I would say, I mean, the height would be like 25 meters, but the length, I don't know, like 30 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty long. Like my sequence had 103 moves.
Yeah. Wow. That's a big endurance climb. Wow. Super nice. Do you have another one to like a kind of a trailer to tell us of another girl from the movie?
Well, I mean, in the movie, you're going to find like different topics about what means to be a female climber. Like you have a a girl who is a mother, and she tells her story about how motherhood changed her climbing at the beginning, but then like many girls who become mothers, they think that their climbing careers are over, but then the story of this girl is very beautiful because she actually found that this her kids were like the new motivation in life to keep challenging herself and accomplishing her goals as a climber. So you have topics like motherhood, like also eating disorders. There is a girl who has like an eating disorder. Um, I don't know, for example, Elisa, my friend, is also part of the movie. She's one of the characters, and her story is more about what it means, like to be, like how climbing is related to identity and how it has helped her to build her own identity because she's half Latina, half from the United States, and how this experience in Colombia helped her to understand more who she is. There is the story of another girl who's becoming like the first international mountain guide, female mountain guide in in Colombia. I'm sorry. So her story is more about like being a mountain guide than a sport climber. So we have like mountain guides. The girl who is a mother, she's more like she was the first Colombian woman who did the Everest, who went to the
Oh,
Everest and did it. So it's not only like about sport climbing. You
yeah,
have also boats. Yeah.
nice. And the locations, where are they? What are we going to see?
Well, I was filmed in Macheta. There is another girl who is filmed in another place who is also close to Macheta. Um, like most of the locations are around Bogota, but you also find La Mojarra, for example, and you find all other small climbing areas in other places of the country. There is one named Payandé, which is also very famous and very beautiful because you have a river in front of it and the nature is amazing. So you climb and then you can get in the river and it's very, very beautiful. So yeah, like we try to film in different places, like each girl in a different place so that people get to see like different areas from Colombia and not only, I mean, climbing areas, but landscapes and yeah, culture.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, really nice. So when the movie is out, it's like people are just gonna run to climb in Colombia.
Hopefully, yeah, that's the goal. I mean, we want people to come. We want people to discover how amazing Colombia is, right? Um, Not only in terms of climbing, but also like Colombia is a very, very beautiful country. It's the second most biodiverse country in the whole world. So here in Colombia, you're gonna get to see things that maybe you cannot see anywhere else in the world. And it's a shame that so many people still think that it's dangerous to come here, or the only thing that they relate Colombia to is to drugs, like to cocaine production, there is way more to see here than only like cocaine. So that, yeah, as I said, we wanna show the world like the beautiful part of the country, which is huge, the
Yeah,
beautiful side.
it's good because I wanted to ask this before as well. So you were touching on that, like, is it safe, Colombia? Bogota, like you
Yeah,
say, people are afraid.
it's all about perspective. I mean, if you come from Switzerland, anything in Latin America is gonna sound dangerous for you. But I mean, I was born in Venezuela, but I came to Colombia every year for Christmas because my father is Colombian and he loved to come to Colombia every year for vacations and everything. And I really have to say that I've seen like the difference, how much secure it feels nowadays than when I was a kid, for example. So yeah, and as I said, it's which is something that is very good about Colombia and Latin America in general is that as in Europe you have like a lot of like transportation ways which you don't have in the United States, for example. Like if you don't have a car in the United States, it's very hard to get to the climbing areas. Here in Colombia, you can just get a bus and go wherever you want, which is very convenient and cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, that's really nice actually. But yeah, I was in Colombia, I think, when was it? Probably 10 years ago, before I was really into climbing. And I was in
Okay.
Bogota and Medellin and
Oh,
a
cool.
few other areas. But yeah, even back then, like, I don't remember it to be dangerous, you know? I don't remember I was scared or anything. So, yeah. So it's yeah, it's a good point, and I feel like also that reminds me of the talk about Jamaica, that people have a lot of prejudice about certain places, and
Yeah.
yeah, I guess like movies like you do, and yeah, talking about it more would get people going, and trying, yeah, and trying the climbing and the tourism in general. Do you have
Yeah.
like you said, it's good year round to climb in weather wise, but is there months of the year that are good or that you should avoid?
Actually, it's been changing the last year. We are supposed to be in rainy season right now, but it's not raining at all. So I
Wow.
think with climate changes, like for example, in this place that I told you, Tuachi, which is like very high, normally the climbing season there is shorter because it rains a lot. Normally, in this time of the year, you wouldn't be able to climb there because it's supposed to rain. But I mean, I'm gonna go there tomorrow because it's still sunny and perfect for
Wow.
climbing. Not really good for for the nature for the people
No.
who live there.
Yeah. Yeah, we have the same in Europe now. It's like winter, we didn't get any rain, and now all of a sudden do. Yeah, but it's pretty crazy.
Crazy.
Definitely. And are you going to try eventually to put the movie in Real Rock or something like that? Is this a goal?
No, no, because the Real Rock. I mean, we talked to the people from Real Rock, and the thing is that the Real Rock works like this: like you sell them the idea, and then they
Okay.
kind of and they have their own filmmakers. But we already had our own filmmakers, and we wanted to be in charge of the narrative of the movie. So we didn't just want to like sell someone the project or something, right? So no,
Yeah.
that's not part of Real Rock. No,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's also a 1 hour movie.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I
So
wanted to ask. I wanted to ask. Good.
it's
It's
about
good.
1 hour. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a long
Nice.
movie.
No, it's awesome. Like, yeah, it's great.
That's why.
Uh,
That's the reason why expensive. But actually, being honest, like $52,000 for the work that these guys have been doing is nothing. I mean, they've been working on the editing for 1 year already. We were like about 5 weeks traveling around the country, like filming in different places. And we talked to other people before them, and the prices they asked for were way higher. So it's $52,000 is a lot of money to raise, but I mean they deserve more than
yeah.
than they're asking for. Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like an adventure for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
Thank you. We hope so. The
Yeah.
thing is that we already got to the point where we cannot reach out to more climbing brands because I don't know. We are supported by Scarpa. We cannot contact La Sportiva because they're a
No.
competitor. Right?
Yeah.
So we are already in that point where we cannot reach out to another brand because we already have a competitor of that brand supporting us. So we are
Yeah.
like, okay, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah. 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 I see. But maybe they will come to you because like some things are bigger than competition. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that's truth. But the other thing is that we have a trailer that we have that is not public yet, and we want to do like a promotion campaign soon, like in a couple of weeks or something, like showing the trailer and trying to make it viral and see if people donate more in the GoFundMe too, because we have a poster and a teaser, and when we shared these things on our Instagram accounts, then those were the weeks where people donated more, because when they get to see like, oh, this is really happening, on this is the teaser, I like it, I really want to help it make to help it happen, to make it happen. Yeah, I think the trailer is very good, it's very powerful. So we want to start sharing it in a couple of weeks and see if first we convince people to help us donating something in the GoFundMe, but also maybe if we make it viral, we can get to more brands, maybe out of the climbing world, to like brands that support projects about female in females in sport or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds promising.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Let's hope. Cool. I don't know. There is more stuff you want to say, you want to share about the movie, about Colombia.
No, I think I already said everything. And I'll be sharing a lot of information because we wanted to, I mean, it's good that people know a little bit about what it is, but yeah, I don't want to share that much
No,
information.
no, no. Yeah, yeah,
I want to see it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but it's good. I feel like it's perfect because now I know, a bit what to expect. I'm really looking forward to seeing what your one, your part, and yeah, and the other ones as well. But no, I think we did a good job because you touched a bit, and yeah, and we didn't go too deep into Colombia climbing, but we gave also a taste. So maybe we should do a sequel of like going deeper into La Mojara or something. It's an idea. Cool. So awesome. We will be in contact.
Thank you
And
very much.
thank you
Thank
so much.
you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to talk about this amazing country.
Definitely. Thank you for being here and lots of good luck with the movie. I'm sure it's gonna do like what you wish and more. So
Thank you.
yeah. So have a great day
You
and we'll
too.
be in contact.
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye.
So welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a really nice conversation and really awesome to have Alita on the podcast. We will update on when the movie is out and where you can see it and everything. If you want to support, make sure you check out all of Alita's Instagram and everything, and Guerreras Instagram page as well, and the GoFundMe. It will be huge, and yeah, it will help a lot, Alita, and the great cause. And I think this film, yeah, it's you heard it yourself. So yeah, thanks a lot, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye for now.